Okay guys, it's early August. I got the combine out. Neighbor called. He's got some like wheat and oats that we had scheduled way back in winter that we were gonna custom combine. So he's got like 30, 40 acres of like kind of like a wheat, oat, rye mix, and then some alfalfa underneath. So I've never done harvesting wheat or oats, so it's gonna be a little new. It's gonna take me a little bit to get the combine set, roll through it. Spence is gonna follow me with the truck, tools. We got the header up there. I think I've got the combine all set to what it is, to the wheat setting, and we're just gonna leave it like that, go. I'm gonna try and get the yield monitor running and try and dial that in, because I'd be really curious, like on these soils up in this area, like what you could possibly get for a wheat yield.
And so this is what the field's looking like. Here's the wheat that he used as a companion crop, and then the alfalfa is growing below. So I assume when we come to harvest, we'll probably take the top bit off here, go maybe a foot into it, and get everything. It's good and dry, relatively low humidity today.
I don't know how this is gonna work. I think we got the combine set. Everything should be set to what it is. We're gonna run with it. The co-op's like 2 miles away from this farm. The guy we're custom combining for has a little wagon there, so I'm gonna dump in that wagon. We're gonna need a weigh load, and I'm gonna try and dial in this yield monitor so we can get him a good yield monitor and stuff like that. He doesn't really care probably too much about it because he's got alfalfa underneath. It's not a true wheat crop, but we're gonna give her a shot, see what happens here. It kind of does that.
So here's what we're running into. Just contours in the land. Our head doesn't flex to it the best. So here he dug in because we were coming off a little roll, and then it ate a bunch of green, and then it plugs the header. Spots where the wheat is very thin, it just doesn't stand upright, and it's not much higher than the alfalfa. So when it's thin, it lets sunlight get in, and these guys grew up. It's hard to combine the wheat without getting a bunch of green through the combine. Out in the field when there's more wheat, it's easier going. The end rows aren't as good because the wheat's very short. Out here in the field, we can actually cut the wheat and stay away from the greens. And that's how you can tell you're doing a good job. Ideally, if this was a draper head, it has like the carpet belt going. That way it would feed more even when we get into patchy stuff.
It just takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm manually running this header, so I'm trying to balance it out because we're so high up and we're not trying to cut all the alfalfa and bring all the alfalfa in. So I'm manually running it, always just adjusting it for the terrain. It does. It is a little tough on the feeder house run in this because you do pick up some alfalfa, but once we get into the good wheat, it seems like the wheat's all there and there's not much alfalfa, and that's where it cuts really good. So it's just kind of a game of just manually adjusting this thing. A draper would be nice to have in this situation for sure, it seems like. So that way it brings it all smooth and easy, but it's kind of fun. Trying something different. That's what it's all about, is learning here.
Oh, mama. That's what happens, especially when we don't have a draper. Big slugs come in. How do you get that? I know, yeah. So here's some better stuff. The thicker the wheat, the taller it does, the more it's shaded the alfalfa, so it stayed low, and that's when it combines the best. This batch here should be some of the worst stuff to combine. And then over there it's oats, wheat, and peas. Should be a bit thicker. Alfalfa should be lower. Yeah. All right, we got that first load on the scale. I just stepped on the scale. It was 99/60. So now we can calibrate the yield monitor and we're good to go.
Now at this point we had a couple wagons full and we're done with end rows and on to the better yielding part of the field. Now everything was combining much smoother and didn't plug the head anymore. There was just one part of the field that was a bit too wet with all the rain we've gotten this summer. Now this grain is going for cattle feed and the idea is to bale the forage after we come through with the combine. Ideally we would have been combining end of July, but just fields have been too wet and we had to wait it out. Grant finished the big part of the field that day and had to come back in the morning to clean up the wet spots.
Next day now, we got everything cut, and there's probably 5 acres of a pond down there that we're gonna let dry for a day or two, because it's really, I was rutting it up, gonna get the combine stuck almost, and he was still wanting to cut that, so I was just gonna leave the combine sit. But woke up this morning and we got rain coming just out of nowhere, so I'm just gonna send it through that area, send it through the pond, and just get everything cut. That way everything's done, we get the combine back. But this rain's supposed to hit in like 20 minutes. This might be a little interesting video, but the radio on the combine's completely broken. Like, I can't control it at all. Literally the radio's still on when I opened the door this morning to the combine, just jamming. I can't control the sound or anything on it, and it just runs even when the combine's completely off and the keys pulled. If we end up burying this combine in the pond, like, it's fine. I'm not that worried. Like, I've got neighbors with tractors that can pull us out, so, and I've got a tractor, but it's just like I want to get this kind of done, so everything's done, because we've been having way too much rain here, so it'll be nice to get this done. It is really muddy. Those are the ruts I'm leaving down there. Well, I know I didn't get much footage, but I think I got pretty much everything that I could get. It gets soft down here. These are like, that's like a 2-foot rut or 3-foot rut down there. So I just don't want to bury the combine in this pond here. So there's maybe half an acre here of wheat we're just gonna let go. But this is soft. This gets really soft. I can feel raindrops coming, so we're gonna get out and dump this on the wagons here. And hopefully he's here to grab the wagons, because I really don't want that stuff to be rain on.
Well, thankfully, Grant ended up getting everything harvested and hauled away right before a heavy rainstorm came in and dropped 3 inches that afternoon. And a little crop update here, early August. The other day, we did 1 pass of fungicide on all of the acres, both bean and corn. Now, everything's looking really good. Besides, we've probably gotten too much rain at this point, and more rain is only going to be hurting the crops. Lots of ponding and drowned out spots in the low areas. The field we tiled this past fall and spring looks really good, and excited to see what yields are there compared to fields that aren't tiled. The field with the corn trial plot in the middle is looking really good too, and that field has good drainage. Our bean fields are for sure losing yield with sitting wet all of the month of June and July. In the low spots, it's starting to turn light green. So it'll be really interesting come harvest this year what yields are going to be, and hopefully things dry out so we can get in there with the combine and not tear anything up. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.